It's my understanding that the Council is ready to proceed to the vote on the draft resolution before it. Unless I hear any objection, I shall put the draft resolution to the vote now. There being no objection, it is so decided. Will those in favour of the draft resolution contained in document S/2009/431 please raise their hand? The result of the voting is as follows. The draft resolution received 15 votes in favour. The draft resolution has been adopted unanimously as Resolution 1884 of 2009.
Mr. President, Israel welcomes the adoption by the Security Council of Resolution 1884 and the renewal of the UNIFIL mandate for another year. This peacekeeping mission plays an important role in the implementation of Resolution 1701. Israel commends UNIFIL in the fulfillment of its mandate in a challenging and difficult environment. Mr. President, the situation in southern Lebanon remains complex. The events of the past July shed light upon a dangerous phenomenon that Israel has been warning about. Terrorist organization Hezbollah continues to deploy its assets and operates actively both north and south of the Litani River, in clear violation of Resolution 1701 and other relevant Security Council resolutions. The region has recently witnessed serious incidents in which multiple explosions occurred in Khirbat Salim in southern Lebanon on the 14th of July. The Secretary General, in his letter of 6th of August to the Security Council, duly noted that explosions were caused by, and I quote, a large quantity of weapons and ammunition in an arms cache that was actively maintained. As I understand, the same was reported by the DPKO officials in their briefings to this Council. The Secretary General further noted the presence of individuals belonging to Hezbollah in the vicinity of Khirbat Salim. In his own words, the Secretary General wrote unequivocally, and I quote, "This presence of unauthorized assets or weapons between the Blue Line and the Litani River constitutes a clear violation of Security Council Resolution 1701. The following days witnessed further violations of Resolution 1701 with the obstruction of freedom of movement of UNIFIL and breaches of the Blue Line by Hezbollah and its supporters. Those additional incidents are clear evidence of the active presence of Hezbollah, the terrorist organization in southern Lebanon. This, along with the ongoing arms supply across the penetrable Syrian-Lebanese border, constitutes an increasing threat to peace and stability in the region. Mr. President, members of the Council, in light of the July incidents, the renewal of the mandate of UNIFIL is an excellent opportunity for the Security Council and the DPKO to further encourage UNIFIL to strengthen its good work. Such increased efforts should help ensure that the area between the Blue Line and the Litani River is, and I quote from Resolution 1701, an area free of any armed personnel, assets and weapons other than those of the government of Lebanon and of UNIFIL. Mr. President, in conclusion, I wish to extend Israel's appreciation to the Troop Contributing Council of UNIFIL, to the Force Commander, General Graziano, to his officers and staff, as well as to the Department of Peacekeeping Operations. They all play an important role in an increasing challenging and difficult environment, and Israel commends their dedication. Israel remains committed to the full implementation of Resolution 1701 and looks forward to cooperating with the Security Council, with the Secretary General, DPKO, and with UNIFIL in this regard. Thank you very much.
In a few days, Mr. President, it will be the third anniversary of the adoption of Security Council Resolution 1701. In these 3 years, the Lebanese government reiterated time and again its commitment to the full implementation of said resolution in its entirety and to working closely with UNIFIL. Today, my government would like first and foremost to thank all members of this august council for their decision to renew for another year UNIFIL's mandate without amendments in its mission, the rules of engagement, or the concept of operations, as per the request of my government. Having been the victims of repeated Israeli aggressions since the 1978 invasion, which led to Security Council Resolution 425 and the creation of the first UNIFIL, I am sure you realize how important for all Lebanese your decision of this day is. Allow me also to take this opportunity to praise UNIFIL for its remarkable work in close coordination and cooperation with the Lebanese army, to commend the wise leadership of General Graziano, its commander, and to thank all troop contributing countries as well as the Department of Peacekeeping Operations. Mr. Chairman, 3 years after its adoption, we need, however, to acknowledge the fact that Resolution 1701 has still not been fully implemented. This is not only because Israel continues to breach the blue line and to violate Lebanese airspace on a daily basis, as stated by the Secretary General in his latest report on the implementation of Resolution 1701. It's also because Israel continues to refuse to withdraw from the northern part of Al-Gajar. And it's also because the issue of the Shib'a farms and Kfar Hills has not found its way yet towards a solution, even on an interim basis, as earlier proposed by the Lebanese government. And how not to mention, in this context, the operation of the Israeli spy networks, which you have been briefed about by Mr. Michael Williams on July 8th. Don't they constitute a serious violation of Lebanon's sovereignty and consequently contribute to undermine Security Council Resolution 1701? Given all these undisputable facts, I am sure you have no doubt about the identity of the party which must be held responsible for obstructing the full implementation of Resolution 1701. More disturbing, however, is the fact that Israeli officials have recently been launching a series of alarming threats against Lebanon, which raise serious concerns about Israeli intentions. Wouldn't it be enough here to mention the words of Israel's Defense Minister, Ehud Barak, who stated on August 7, 2009, that, quote, Israel did not strike at Lebanon's infrastructure hard enough during the summer war of 2006, allow me to repeat, Lebanon's infrastructure hard enough, and emphasized that a future attack would have an even more destructive effect on the Lebanese infrastructure than the July 2006 war? Do I need to remind members of this august body that during its 206 war on Lebanon, over and above the thousands of civilian casualties and hundreds of thousands of displaced people, and as far as infrastructures are concerned, Israel destroyed 91 bridges, damaged 137 roads and 5 airport runways, 58 telephone exchanges and tens of transmission centers, 1514 points of water networks, in addition to tens of reservoirs and pumps, and again, in addition to 929 schools, yes, 929 schools, which were totally or partially destroyed or damaged. And this is without mentioning the bombing of the fuel oil tanks in the geothermal station, which led to the release of over 15,000 tons of fuel oil into the Mediterranean Sea, leading to the contamination physically and chemically of the Lebanese coastline, with serious implications for human health, biodiversity, fisheries, and the economy of Lebanon. Mr. Chairman, what Mr. Barak is promising us with is but more of such acts. That is, acts which are in violation not only of the letter or spirit of Resolution 1701, but which stand against the fundamental principles of the Charter of the United Nations, let alone the rules and principles of international humanitarian law. The credibility of this august body, Mr. Chairman, requires that such threats against my country be also condemned in the strongest words. Thank you, Mr. President.